Hey, it's a beautiful sunny summer day with puffy white clouds. Or maybe it's dark gray clouds. Maybe it's raining. Maybe it's hailing where you are. Thunder and lightning. Maybe you're being torn apart by cats. Regardless of your personal situation, thank you for listening to Mike Dell's World. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Oh, check out the music. I made this thing a while back, that intro, and I found it when rummaging through the old computer. So anyway, welcome to Mike Dell's World. I have no idea what episode number it is. I'll figure it out. But I'm back. I'm here. Still busy. Gosh, been May 15th, just before we went to Podfest. And now it's just before going to Podcast Movement in Dallas, Texas. So I'll be down there Monday night through Saturday noon or so. And if you're in the area, give me a bump and or stop by the booth if you're going to the conference, whatever. Might be able to meet up. We're staying at the Sheraton right downtown in Dallas, so looking forward to that. We got some new announcements at Blubrry, of course, and got a really big one on Monday, which will be interesting. You might be able to see that in action maybe this weekend sometime. I don't know. We'll see if we get it that ready or if it's a little delayed, but who knows. So it's been a busy summer, and gosh, it sort of seems like summer's already coming to a close, but it's middle of August, so I guess it's not closed yet. And we still got some pretty nice weather here in northern Michigan. Some of the highlights of what's been going on here is, of course, working like crazy and trying to get all this stuff out for Podcast Movement. So after that, we can kind of relax and get to my home projects. Got a bunch of those. I did get a fence put up in my backyard. We had some houses built there back in the woods behind us, and just needed a little more privacy, so I put a privacy fence across the backyard, and it's been rather nice. Having a little extra privacy like we used to have before they put the houses in the woods. But we didn't know the property was for sale. Otherwise, I'd have probably tried to buy it. But, oh well, stuff happens. So let's see. Oh, I got a new toy here. I also got the Rodecaster Pro 2. And it's been okay. I've had a couple of glitches recording Podcast Insider because for some reason it doesn't like Skype that well, and the audio dies out, but it doesn't seem to happen on Zoom, so we'll use Zoom to record that one until Rodecaster fixes it. But it's got some pretty neat effects.
Like I can make my voice sound like this.
Yep, and I can go high-pitched.
Hello out there.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. Or it can sound like a megaphone. Hello, welcome to Mike Dell's World. Anyway. Or a robot.
Hello, this is a robot.
Anyway, lots of stupid buttons to push, but I love it. I wish this thing was out 15 years ago. Would have been fun then, but glad it's out now. And I use it all the time, for normal work stuff. If you call Blubrry for sales, support, or billing, chances are I'll be talking through the Rodecaster to you. So we got the phone piped into the thing, but it's quite the device for the podcasters. But let's see what else. Oh, my old blue van that had enough miles on it to drive to the moon. I drove it on its final drive about a month ago. I went and drove that to the junkyard and handed the keys over. And it was time. The steering rack had gone out of it completely, and I mean, you could still steer it, but there was zero power steering, so the ride was a little tough when you're going slow. It didn't matter when you're going, highway speeds or whatever. But anyway, got that gone, and so we're just down to the truck in the newer van, and been doing a lot of camping as well. I took an entire 10 days off and spent it sitting in the shade next to a lake, and that was kind of nice. I got a couple of books read, and really didn't do much else of any productiveness, which is exactly what I want to do when I take vacation. And we've gone a couple other places. In fact, when we get back from Dallas, my wife will already have the camper set up over at Turtle Lake, and I'll stop there on my way home from the airport. Ironically, I'm flying out of Manistee, Michigan, MBL, if you want to look it up. It's a dinky little airport. I'm going to be flying out on a Cessna Twin to Chicago, but it was like half the price of airline ticket, the airline tickets, and, then I connect to American in Chicago to go to Dallas. And same thing coming back. But, Manistee was half the price as Traverse City or Grand Rapids even. So I thought, why not? I'll try that. It's a little airline called Cape Air. And literally, I think it's 8 passengers will fit on the plane, plus the captain. I don't think they have 2 pilots on that one. They might. I don't know. It's not a true airline. It's kind of a charter thing, but still the price was right. And actually, I like flying on smaller planes, so it'd be interesting to say the least to do that. So I'll be coming back from Manistee, and about halfway back is where the campground is that we're going to. So I'll spend Saturday night, Sunday night there, and we'll come back Monday morning, and so it'll be a nice little break at the end of a week of going to a conference. It should be fun. We're taking 4 people, and got a pretty big booth. And like I said, we'll have a lot of buzz because of our new product coming out. Like I said, if you watch MikeDell.com, you might get a glimpse of what the new product is. Maybe. We'll see. Might just be an announcement on Monday. Our developers are burning the midnight oil, getting the final touches on everything. But if all goes as planned, it'll be out on Monday. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. A couple weeks ago, spent a week down in Columbus, Ohio, with the whole team. We got the whole team minus 2 together at the Columbus office. First time that office has been used really since COVID. For anything big. I mean, there's a couple locals there that go in there once a week or whatever, or twice a week maybe, to pick up mail and whatever. But most of us are working from home now. Well, I always worked from home, but it was good to see everybody. Got to ride down there with Barry Kantz, our CFO and staff lawyer and co-owner, of course, and so I rode down there with him, and that was a lot of fun. Don't get to talk to Barry too much. If you want to hear Barry's podcast, he's been podcasting as long as I have, or maybe even longer. He does the Home-Based Travel Agent podcast, which he does it pretty religiously. I think it's I don't know if it's monthly now or every couple weeks, something like that, but he's been at it forever, so that's great. And, it's an interesting show, even if you're not into being a home-based travel agent. In fact, I don't think a lot of people do that anymore. I think mostly he talks about travel destinations and cruising and that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty good show. Of course, I'm a glutton for punishment. As Lester said, how can I pod fade a show if I don't have an extra show to pod fade? So starting next month, I'm doing the Auto History Podcast at autohistorypodcast.com. So if you want to hear me a little more often that's the one to go to. Of course, I do Podcast Insider every week, or almost every week I'm on it, but there is an episode every week. We haven't missed one in, 2-3 years at least, so that's good. Like I said, I'm the king of inconsistency, but it's good. Let's see. What's going on here in Traverse City? Well, of course, we had the Cherry Festival, and I got to go out to the Coast Guard ramp and look at all the airplanes prior to the air show, and of course, met the Blue Angels again, and got to talk to an Air Force recruiter out there, which was kind of entertaining. Now the Air Force recruiters are also recruiting for Space Force, so I got one of his cards. I thought that was pretty funny that it had Air Force and Space Force on it. I guess that's the same with a Navy recruiter in the Marine Corps, I guess, but it was cool. Talked to him a little bit and got to see a lot of cool airplanes. There's a couple of MiGs there, a MiG-15 and a MiG-17, or maybe it's a MiG-21. I don't remember. I'm not good at my MiGs. And there was a couple F-16s. There was a couple A-10s. There was a Harrier, AV-8B Harrier from the Marine Corps. Of course, Fat Albert, the C-130. Of course, they got a new one of those for the Blue Angels. It's I don't know, J model, I guess, but it's the one with the six blade Kevlar props on it. So it was quite cool. But got to hang out there, and also got to go to the Haggerty vault, I guess you'd call it. But they have a big storage facility here where all the classic cars that they either own, people in the company own, or they have around or store for people, and Redline rebuilds and all of Haggerty. I don't know if you're familiar with Haggerty, but it's a classic car insurance company based here in Traverse City. And like I said, they probably have 60 or 70 cars in this warehouse, and they do an open house every month, and I actually got to go to one of those, so that was cool. Got to see some neat old cars and all that. Got to see the Model A that Haggerty bought all the parts for at the Hershey swap meet and built the car right there at the show, and then drove it from Hershey, Pennsylvania to Traverse City, Michigan. And then the guys at Redline rebuilt the engine and got it going, and that was sitting over there. It's nice looking old Model A, two-door coupe, or no, two-door sedan, I guess. Yeah, the one that had the back seat, not the rumble seat. I'd love to get my hands on one of those. It's super simple, and all the parts are still available, and you don't have to worry about no stinking computers or body control modules. So that's going to be one of my episodes for Auto History. I talk about the Model A. I'm hoping to line up a guest, Paul Shin. He's kind of like one of the number one Model A experts around, and got a pretty prolific, I guess would be the word, YouTube channel. So look up Paul Shin if you're interested in all kinds of Model A stuff. But trying to get him. I've been emailing his wife, and she kind of takes the reins in booking him for stuff like that. And also have a lawyer / author here in Michigan that has a YouTube channel, Steve Leto of Leto's Law, but he does a lot of things about cars. He wrote a couple of books. Actually, wrote 3 books. One about the Tucker, which is the Chicago-based car that made the movie about. I think it's in 47, I want to say, or 48. I think it was 48. Tucker 48 is what they call the model. And they made, I think, 50-something of them, and they had to do that, otherwise they'd get in trouble for some sort of lying to their investors or something. I don't know what the whole deal was. There's a whole movie about it, but anyway, he wrote a book about the Tucker. He wrote a book about the Chrysler turbine cars back in the back in the 60s, well, earlier than that, but in the 60s, they had a program where they built 50 of these turbine orange Chrysler turbine cars, and the model name was the Chrysler Turbine. And they built somewhere around 50 of them, 53 maybe, and all of them but one of them is that turbine bronze or orange, kind of a burnt orange color. There's only 2 of them in private hands. All the rest of them were either crushed or are owned by the Chrysler Museum in Auburn Hills, Michigan. I think they got 3 of them, and only 2 of the 3 run. And Jay Leno's runs, and I don't know about the other private owner. But Steve actually got to drive a couple different ones of those. One, I know he drove one at the Chrysler Museum, and he drove Jay Leno's. He got to be friends with Jay Leno and in fact, Jay Leno wrote the foreword to, I believe, the Tucker book and the Chrysler Turbine book. He also wrote a book about the winged cars of late 60s, early 70s. The Chrysler or Dodge Charger and Plymouth Superbird, the ones with the ridiculous wing and the fiberglass nose piece on the front that they ran in NASCAR for a couple of years. So he wrote the book on that and got to drive the one that... what's his name? Geez, I'm drawing a blank. Richard Petty. Yeah, he got to drive Richard Petty's wing car, Plymouth Superbird, and then there was another one. He got to drive a Dodge Charger, or whatever they call that. Charger Daytona. Yeah, that's what it was. But anyway, so he wrote those 3 books, and I'm hoping to get him. I'm hoping to interview him about all 3, but not all at once. So that's coming. Also, got a U-2 pilot, that flew the U-2 spy planes. And one of the unique things about the U-2 spy plane is when they taxi out and when they come in to land, they have another U-2 pilot in some hot rod car to guide them around, because it's really hard to see out of the airplane, both because the windows are kind of small and they're in a spacesuit. They're flying it, so it's really hard to taxi and be in the right spot to land and all that. So, yeah, I'm going to talk to this guy about the cars that they used over the years for that purpose, chasing the U-2. So that should be fun. And, they're not all going to be interview shows. I'm going to do Volkswagen Beetle. I'll do the Model A, whether without Paul, I don't know. Probably do the Model T. I want to talk about Henry Ford and Lee Iacocca and John DeLorean. So it's going to be all about the automotive industry, sometimes a particular car, sometimes a type of car, sometimes, who knows. Something I'm currently interested in, and I really got to get back into podcasting for myself, since I spend all my time working on other people's stuff. So it's just as well that I do something I'm interested in. Of course, I always do this one. May not be all that frequent, but I'll always do this one. This is, kind of my therapy, I guess. I know. I don't have a ton of listeners, but those of you that stuck with me over the years, I do appreciate that. Again, I'm trying to get Jim Farley to record with me one of these days, and we'll do another What's Up With That. That might be fun. Might even try to get Kathy on. We haven't done one together in a long time. Maybe I'll bring my portable setup camping. I'll put it in the truck before I go to the airport on Monday. So maybe we'll do a podcast from the campground, if it's rainy especially. But we'll see. But yeah, that's really about what's going on. Just work and sleep and eat and camp and goofing off. And, like I said, doing the fence build. And I got some yard work stuff. I told Kathy I really want to take September and have, not a whole lot to do on the weekends. Hopefully not traveling or anything, just to catch up on things around the yard and around the house. We're about to embark on getting our basement redone. Of course, it floods. That's the whole reason I built this office/studio out in the backyard, because I had the office in the basement, and that was okay until the water levels got high on Lake Michigan, which kind of flooded my basement a bit. So we're going to have the whole floor broken up and re-poured, and a drain system put in, and a decent sump pump, and do it by the book, and hopefully next time the water levels go high, we won't have to worry about flooding in the basement. So that'll be good. So other than that, like I said, just making a little short update here, and we'll try to have some more content here as well. But go check out autohistorypodcast.com. And also, you'll notice that you may have noticed, or you may notice on this one, that there's some advertising pre-rolls, post-rolls on here. That's an experiment on my part, but Blubrry launched Programatic Advertising, and of course I've been testing it. So on my 2 shows, you'll hear maybe some ads, and they're somewhat targeted. But if you hear something you don't think should be advertised, sure, let me know. And even if you can capture the media file with that ad in it, it'd be great. Because I got a direct line with the company we're partnering with, and we want to filter out stuff that shouldn't be there. But there shouldn't be any politics, cannabis, alcohol, gambling, adult, I think, was the categories that we're not supposed to get. So trying to keep it somewhat family safe, even though this show isn't always family safe, but yeah, whatever. So with that, I want to play the theme song I picked for Auto History. Everybody have a good time until next time. And again, if you want to get a hold of me, mike@mikedell.com, and any comments, questions, or just say hi. Look forward to hearing from you. Here's the theme song for Auto History. Of course, I'll duck it down to talk the intro, but anyway, kind of a neat song, I thought. course, I'll never play it this long on the other show. Just, like I said, it's good background music, I guess. So, anyway, thanks for listening. Everybody have a good time. We'll catch you next time.